Hi there, Gemini. Thank you for joining me for your year 2015 forecast. This year begins, like what they always do, with a backdrop of energies, which provides some telling pointers for the whole of the year. And for you, one of these involves your ruling planet or guiding light, which is the sign of Mercury, which combines brilliantly with Venus on the first day of this year, suggesting that one particular alliance could prove to be rather fated throughout 2015. This could be romantic, it could be business-wise. But there is also at the start of this year an opposition between Mars and Jupiter. But this is one of those oppositions which actually can be quite good. This is going to give you more confidence in terms of your ideas and also about promoting the things that you believe in. So this points back towards, if you have got a strand, an idea, a business alliance which you feel has got real potential, then Mars and Jupiter are going to give you the platform to let people know about this, and you can do so tremendously effectively throughout the year. But there is one other influence which is more challenging, and this is a right angle between Uranus, the planet of freedom and rebellion, and also of Pluto. And Pluto's in the part of your horoscope still, which is to do with the things that link you to other people, whether you like it or not. In an external sense, it can be to do with banks, financial institutions, pensions. More internally, it's to do with your deeper psychological needs and also very close romantic, even sexual alliances. These two have squared up off and on for some time over the last 3 years and are a lot behind the restlessness that we see in the world at large, where all sorts of need for individuality or freedom from what is perceived as oppressive energies has come to the fore across several countries in the world. In your own personal situation, despite the fact that Mercury and Venus are offering you this wonderful opportunity, it's possible that you're going to have to make a decision on how much of your freedom or independence you can sacrifice in order to gain from a much deeper commitment, especially as at the end of last year, Saturn, the planet of structure, moved into your sector of relationships. Now, when Saturn goes through this part of a horoscope, as it will do for the next 2.5 years, it's not necessarily going to be all plain sailing. Some people that you thought were very much fixtures in your life could actually fade out of your situation, whereas they can be replaced by new people who will be much more solid citizens in your world. But the process isn't necessarily going to be painless. But it is an opportunity to learn more about what you need in terms of relationships. And if you're defending your independence, but a lot of the time feeling rather lonesome, this alteration generally is pushing you to be much more open-minded about what can be gained by sacrificing some of your independence to have something that's much better, more lasting and more enduring, that can give you a greater sense of security. So whether you commit to a business, a property purchase, or a close romantic relationship, it may not be easy for you, but there is going to be a long-term reward from that. Now, it is true to say that Saturn is not going to stay in your 7th solar house for the whole of this year. And it's going to move back into Scorpio in the middle of June and then back into Sagittarius, your opposite sign, your 7th solar house, in the middle of September. So some of the issues that you've been dealing with in the last 2 years or so, especially to do with health, diet, fitness, routines, anything to do with basic organisation in your life, they can still come up again later this year. But maybe in a way which shows you that if you've committed yourself really in enough of a way to Saturn's will, then you will get breakthroughs in those areas too. Now, there is going to be some exciting changes occurring in March when there is a solar eclipse. A solar eclipse which occurs in the part of your horoscope to do with your desire to get your voice heard, to be authoritative, to be successful, to reach goals. But it does forge an opposition with a part of your horoscope in terms of the lunar eclipse which occurs in the following month on the 4th of April, which is much trickier, because what we have here is a polar opposition which is not directly the same. And this one for you suggests that as much as your desire to make progress is important, you have to be mindful of how it impacts on your home life. And especially in terms of friendships, because it's possible that the friendships that you want to embrace can be at the heart of some of the unsettlement that you feel about this need to be more committed. And something can come up around those 2 months which really underlines the struggle. However, there is another planet, of course, which has been in a marvellous location for you at the start of the year, Jupiter, in its opposition with Mars, and it stays with you in a very bubbly, creative part of your horoscope right through to August the 10th. Then it switches into your home zone. If you have often wondered what it would be like to perhaps own your own property, redevelop where you are now, or perhaps make that very long-term commitment in terms of a family life, having children, this kind of stuff. It depends on where you are in your unique situation. Then the move of Jupiter into Virgo can be very, very important, because it asks you to start to look for tangible changes in those areas. However, in September, there is some big stuff going on too. Not only are there 2 eclipses, Jupiter then goes face to face with Neptune, and things may seem very confused, and you may feel very drained or disillusioned with certain elements of your situation. But by October, I do feel that you're going to chirp up quite considerably. And if you are wanting to do better around business, whether it's a home-based one or something that's much more dynamic, the angle forged between Jupiter and Pluto during that month can see you make huge progress, especially if you are wanting to get onto the property ladder or become more successful in marshalling your resources as they are at the present time. There is a tricky influence, I have to be honest, between Saturn and Neptune in the latter part of this year, and it's possible you may encounter someone in a position of influence who seems to sap you of every ounce of energy. This person may always seem to demand more and more from you. And if you are someone who does have that need to be a free spirit, it's something you should be mindful of if you are focused on achieving traditional goals in traditional settings. Because as much as you can make progress financially, remember that Mercury conjunct Venus, that can really set you up for the year. There may be compromises to be made about what you want to do as an individual and who you are as an individual too. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.